The chariot's coming. The chariot's coming. Swing low, swing low. I'm Dion. What's your name, brother? I'm Dion. What's your name, brother?
Oh yeah, we're gonna we definitely gonna have some fun because especially the dynamics of how we are all talking. I really can't wait to go hunting with you all. Definitely.
Yeah.
I got to make that a trip. I got to go like, hey, we can't just let's go to stores in Phoenix. I mean, we could do that. That's easy. But
Yeah.
I got to do at least say, let's go to Tucson, let's go to Flag, go to San Diego, LA. You know, that's a good day trip to have fun.
Oh yeah. No, I'm
Oh, and
definitely- we're
Texas.
up for it.
I've never hunted in Texas in my life. So now you really got me like, oh yeah, big ass country.
Texas has some good spots.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's interesting to actually see when you see other people's, other YouTubers where they go to different states. The prices varies from state to state or from the side of the country you're in. I noticed
Yeah.
that like there's some places like you're selling that for that. I'm like, I need to go over there. You know,
That's
There's
oh my
certain
god.
collectibles that you won't find here that you'll find somewhere else.
Yes. Like when I went to Fan Fusion, I met a lot of sellers from California. And when I met the sellers from California, they were selling stuff here that I have not seen here,
Yeah.
especially being a Robotech fan. And I bought a what was it? The Robotech Big Giant book. I have it. Basically, it's one of the figures, and it's the one who died, the one who was with Max, and it was in the first season. Max was the lieutenant, and he had the other guy that was under Rick Hunter. He died, got killed, and then but the guy was selling it, and it was only missing the gun itself, the UN Spacey gun. When I saw that, I was like, "How much?" I said, "Oh, that's 80." Dude, if I had the gun, it's 250 on eBay. Okay, I'll buy it. And I'm like, hey, I'm keeping this for myself. This is something I've never seen it before because I bought a lot of Robotech stuff, and I even got stuff from like China, and I'm like fragile. Or I bought stuff, and then I'm like, look at this, how small it is. I hate the scale.
Yeah.
And then I give it to, and then I just go, hey Dion, I don't like this size, man. You can have this one. Plus, it'd go perfect with you. Because I gave him one with Myra, who was Max. They got married. She does Zentradi, who shrunk down, and I gave him the figure to him, and then I was like, wow, it's crazy. I gotta ask you a question though. Sorry, I didn't mean to deflect to that. If
worries.
you have the option to make it a movie, would you rather have your character have his own show or a cartoon?
Ooh. You mean like a movie, like cartoon movie, or
You can. So, for example, okay, let's say you got Spider-Man, you got a whole season. That's you. That's you, the main character. Did you want a whole season, or do you want a movie to be based on live action or a cartoon movie? What would you like to have?
I know it seems like the movies tend to have a little bit more success, but I like the TV series because you get to flush out the character a lot better.
Right.
You get to introduce other back characters that most people probably wouldn't know, and you get to introduce a lot more detail into certain characters, especially like if you want to do like a telling of their origin. Then I would say in a TV series they can definitely do a lot more. If they were to like say take for example the Mandalorian, if they
Right.
would have done just a Mandalorian movie, I'm not exactly sure how much of like the Grogu and the Mandalorian they would have been able to compress into an hour and a half, 2 hour long movie,
Right, that's true.
opposed to like season, the first season where you get 9, give or take about 40-minute episodes to flush out a character.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that led to like its popularity. Obviously, as they become more popular and they start adding in more characters, now you have less character development for certain characters.
Right.
So it tends to start, boring fans. But like if you look at any really, really good show, I think it's that character development that really wraps people up. And you can't really get it with a movie. If you were to do a movie it has to be on something that's already been established for a while, where a lot of people know the history behind it.
Yeah.
So that way you can just get to the action.
Mhm.
You know, so because I mean, think about like even like Infinity War and Endgame. If they would have
Right.
came out with those movies prior to coming up with like the other 20 years before of all that backstory,
Mhm.
a lot of people probably wouldn't have gotten it, and it probably wouldn't have been as big as it got. Just because a
Right.
lot of people wouldn't have known the backstory of all these characters, it'll be probably like, where the hell are they all coming from?
Right.
So a lot of people, it probably would have still been a hit, but it would have been definitely a little bit, not as commercial as it became. It would have been a hit with the fans. But I
Right.
think the fact that they drew it out for as long as they did to flesh out, a large amount of the characters is what made it like bigger. So I think when it comes to like a character, probably a series gives you an idea to get a better deal for that character than it would be like for like
But this
better
is
show.
your character, though. This is
Same,
you.
I would say same thing. Series.
Okay.
Series would give a better idea. 'Cause I
Okay.
mean, if you met me within an hour and a half, you might think I'm an asshole. You get to know me for a little while longer, you like me better.
Okay, I got you. So by the time we got to episode 6 and 7, we know a lot more now about Eric and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
All right. What about you, Sal? What would you
I
like?
would, well, knowing my personality, I would do a movie just because, just get it over with. Do my 2 hours, boom. But
You want live
really
action or a
wanna-
cartoon?
see everything, a series, too. So it depends.
Okay.
I'm a Gemini,
Mhm.
so
Oh, happy belated birthday then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, May. But I would.
My wife is
I don't know.
too.
I'll be jumping back and forth. That's the thing. I can't make up my mind. Just because I don't like being the center of attention.
Mhm.
So it would be weird. That's why I'd be like, do a movie. Here it is. Here's the synopsis, and just get over with it in an hour. Let's go. But
Right.
I think it would be fun doing a series. I think I've led. And then I'm old now that I'm a little bit older. I think I've led a pretty interesting life that hasn't been for nothing. But I want to
You
turn the
want
tables on you
series?
guys.
You want?
Huh?
Well, let me ask you this: but do you want your movie to lead to a series, or do you want a
Yeah,
series?
my
lead
movie
a
to lead to the series because I'm pretty
Okay.
sure my short movie would have a lot of questions.
Okay.
But I want to turn the tables on you guys, and maybe
Okay.
we can all answer. But is there a cartoon or anime or comic book character that you would turn into, or you wish they would turn into a movie?
That's a good one.
That's tricky. That's tricky because I've seen them turn other IPs into garbage.
No, but if
so,
they can,
so you're
if they-
afraid you're afraid that they would do the same thing to something.
no,
that-
but
love?
let's live in a world where they can translate what we saw, whether it be the anime or the comic book, into that movie. And you would be like,
Okay.
oh, that would look, if they can transfer everything
they
that I
can do
got
it right
from the
and do
anime
it justice.
or the cartoon series or the comic book series, and they translate that to this would be a hell of a movie or series. Do you guys have any?
I do. I definitely, one thing I'm going to say this. I got two options. I don't want a popular cartoon that I grew up on, like Thundercats, to be ruined into a short 2-hour movie just because I need at least a trilogy on that with Mumra. It has to be that, number one. But then at the same time, I don't want to see a remake of that same cartoon either. I don't want to see no more Netflix versions and all the ruins. And now, but I would love to see a obscure character turned into a movie where, speaking of Batman, you got me on one, Death Metal. I would love to see Duke Thomas converted into a movie. And I want to see Duke Thomas as a character, not as the Signal. I want to see Duke Thomas, whereas the other Duke Thomas, where he's one where he was grown and he went through the whole situation with the more just the Robins. I'm just talking about him when he's fighting on the last day. I want to see that, or I want to see a movie on. I actually need a trilogy of Batman Who Laughs. That's what I want. I would love to see that.
I love that character.
That mine too. Same here. It's one of my favorite ones. So
I think there's already been like a movie of it, but I would like to see a series, so that way they can, flesh out more of these characters that I saw in the movie that seem really interesting. Was Vampire Hunter D. That was an anime that I watched like years ago, and originally watched like on VHS, and I have it now on DVD. But Vampire Hunter D was one of those cool ones that was basically a movie. It was an anime movie, but if they did like a good series, to flush out his character a little bit more, and then the villain and some of the other characters that were in it, I think that would be really cool. Just as you said too, Rashad, freaking, yeah, I love the Batman Who Laughs. I love the design, the look of it. That first series of comics, I read them, freaking amazing. So I mean, I would love to see a series of that too. That would be pretty amazing. I think if they can do it right.
And it has to be dark how it is.
Mm-hmm.
I need everything from like the situation with Commissioner Gordon, his son being introduced. I mean, oh my God, he was a serial killer. I was like, that's crazy. We got to bring it in there. The whole Batman saying, you know what? I know in order for me to beat him, I have to become him. I'm like,
yeah.
What the hell? Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you for that question. Now let's reverse the tables back on you now.
No, I got to answer. I got my series.
Okay, let me hear it.
Berserk. It's one of my favorite anime.
Oh man, I forgot all about him.
Yeah, Berserk in a movie or series.
Yeah.
Having this dude with this big sword just chopping people into pieces. With his hand cannon.
Yeah.
And the whole like diabolical, with Griffin and and the Bailiff. I would love to see what that would look like if they can capture the series into a live action series. That would be phenomenal. My other one would be, I don't know if Eric saw it but X. I don't know if you ever saw X.
No, I'm not familiar with it. Is it a manga?
It's manga, yeah. I have the DVD if you ever want to borrow it. But it's pretty much two groups of people, and they're regular people that are given powers. And these two groups of people, one is tasked to destroy the world because humans have destroyed it pretty much. The world's about to die if we let humans continue the way they're going. And the other group is wanting to no, I think there's hope with humans. Let's give them another chance. And they're fighting, one for the destruction to save the world, and one to say, no, let's give them a chance. We need to fight for them so they can learn from their mistakes. And it's just regular people fighting against each other with these powers that if one of them dies, whichever one side, either part of that city gets destroyed or survives. But it's a justification where you got friends, or even in some cases lovers. One's fighting to destroy the world, one's on the team to save it, and they have to fight each other, regardless of their connection with each other.
Right.
They're bound by the duty of saving. Both want to save the world, but in different ways.
I feel like
and my third one would be Trigun.
That presence.
Huh?
I feel like the movie Eternals kind of copied that premise.
Yeah, but I think Marvel kind of dropped the ball with Eternals, but I think X would, if you would rewatch the series, I think does a better job doing that. And then my third one would be Trigun.
Oh.
Like, I can imagine Ryan Reynolds playing, Bash Stampede, Bash Stampede, and then I don't know, you can do it into like a Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez kind of style. There's a lot of guns.
Yep. Spaghetti Western. Yep.
Spaghetti Western. You can turn that Trigun into a Spaghetti Western with those two guys running.
Yeah.
I would love to see something Trigun too.
I want Ninja Scroll. I gotta get Ninja Scrolls. We could get a Ninja Scroll. I don't care if it's live action or not. I want to see that. I need to see it. Like, it's crazy. I mean, or if we can get the anime manga versions of Marvel, like the Blade, like the Iron Man, with
Oh yes.
Extremis, I think it was, and that when I watched the Blade series, and I was like, wow, this is totally different. Blade was over there going, it was. I mean, obviously we know Wesley Snipes, similar thing. Part 2, he went to the vampire club. That was the first scene, and then he was just going fuck wow, and I was like, okay, I need that. I need that in this movie right now. We need that
Yeah,
right.
nobody talks about the Blade series with Wesley Snipes, but that was a pretty good,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, movies. I mean,
Not part 3. Not part 3.
But yeah,
wait,
The first one for sure.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree. The first one and the second one too, because it was deep.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, it was the guy's son coming back, and he was created.
Yeah.
Remember, and he was trying to kill his family. The
Yeah,
reason
the
why
virus.
but the only thing I didn't like about part 3, I did like there were some parts. I mean, part 3 was stupid with Triple H and all that. That was just whatever. But what I did like about it is that he says, okay, we have nobody to turn to who could take care of Blade. He's just effing us off. So we're gonna go back and go find what they found, Dracula. I thought that was cool, but then when they found him, I was like, bullshit. Come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
I did
everything.
I did like how to Dracula he didn't even care about the vampires either.
No,
That I thought was kind of cool because he's just like, you know what, I could watch the world burn for all I care. But
exactly.
he didn't really care. That's
And
what I thought
the
was
story, too.
they lost. They had a good idea with that,
Yeah,
but the execution was just horrendous.
that was flawed. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Blade is definitely one of those underrated. Hell, a lot of people didn't even know it was a comic book movie when it first came out.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends who weren't aware of it. I wasn't huge into Blade. I didn't know the character, like the ins and outs, but I knew he was a comic book. So when it first came out, I was just like, oh man, it's when the first comic book movies were still not considered that mainstream, and I was just like, oh, that was actually a pretty cool comic book movie. One of my friends was like, it's a comic book. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people didn't really pay attention to the fact that's a comic book movie. Same
And
thing with
look
the
at the
Pro.
connection. Yeah, and the connections too. Remember, because he was connected. The whole thing with Morbius, Spider-Man. Remember, because when they introduced Blade on the cartoon, the Spider-Man one, and then his mom was there, and Morbius with the blood and everything, the tainted blood. I was like, that's pretty cool. I said, but that's not how it went. But I think that's cool. I'm glad they're bringing it in. But I was like, damn, But I'm sorry, what are you gonna say, Sal?
I was gonna say because Blade,
What do you mean? No, what do you mean?
it wasn't really introduced as a Marvel character. I mean, they just came up with the movie Blade, and I think what worked with Blade, he's a complex character because he has his moments where he can deviate and be a vampire and be the most powerful vampire because he's a daywalker. He can, So I think that's why a lot of people love Wesley Snipes as Blade too, because he showed that complexity that I'm fighting for good, but I have my moments where I can,
Check
He
this out.
literally like hates what he is.
Yeah. But remember, in part 3, Dracula hit it on the nose. He says that no matter what, you might get rid of me, but it's still going to come down to the thirst. And I went, oh damn, you're still a vampire no matter what. So eventually, they're going to have to kill you. So, and then Whistler, I wish they really just brought in, because Whistler, I wish they did a prequel of Blade where they show Eric out there struggling as a kid, and he found him. You know what I mean? And he pretty much took him in as a father figure. I was like, yo, I think that would be dope to introduce that before we get into the Blade. You know what I mean? Then
That would
see,
be awesome.
that would be sick. Yeah, for real. Just
because
give me the
you
prequel.
would see, I think, the complexity of the character as a child because he's fighting. Can you imagine him as a teenager? I mean, all the emotions
And his mom,
thirst.
he's
Yeah.
like,
Hey,
oh man, damn.
But not only that, but Whistler was also, if you were to have it in a series or even a movie, you'd have to show Whistler basically taking out vampires with no powers. It's the advantage Blade has, obviously, is he is a daywalker. He's got all their strengths and none of their weaknesses. Whistler would be doing it as a human man, like
Van Helsing.
that's gotta be be hard. So you
he
got to
had be
think
a
if anybody
badass
taught
when he was a
Blade,
young guy.
if anybody taught Blade, it had to have been a badass. Because if Blade's a badass, then whoever taught him was a badass.
Exactly. He was like the Bruce Willis to I like to call him Bruce Willis because he got older and everything, and they start caught up onto him. But before that, he says I was making these weapons. I'm the one who taught him everything he knows. How do you think he got these stakes and silver bullets? How he knew? Because who taught Whistler? You know?
That'd be
True.
So now we got to go back and go, okay, so I mean, like, it's the same thing like, what they call it, the Order of Two, I think it's called, in Star Wars, where the Sith,
The rule of
the Rule of Two. So you got Blade, Whistler, but who was the one before that? And then how did Whistler get turned? I mean, you know, I would love to see that. I mean, I know it's a situation about his daughter and his family, but I was like, I would love to see that too. Introduce Whistler more. That would be dope. And everything.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get it with this new Blade, movies.
Well, yeah, we'll see because this director situation. I like the change. I'm liking that it is going to be rated R, and they are bringing in a new director. I'm happy about that. I just I feel like I've been waiting for the last 5 years. Feel like even though it's only been 3, but I'm just like, man, like, come on, bring this out. Don't rush it. Don't make it like Flash. I mean, come on, this no comment.
No, but that's another topic we could talk about. Just
That's
Warner
episode
Brothers
10.
dropping the ball with DC, knowing that they got some of the strongest characters.
That's
in the
episode 10 for
comic
us.
book.
Yeah.
I got some more questions for y'all. And it's going back into How I Met You All. All right,
Hold on 1 second. Let me turn on some light because it's getting dark over here where I'm at. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries. You good? Man, I'm really liking this a lot. This conversation. Speaking of which, you see behind your brother, you see that what is that shockwave right there?
Yeah.
Remember that was in Aliens.
Yes, in the lab.
Yep, in
When
the
they're
lab,
walking
and then they had both of them like this, hanging out like this, and I'm like, dude, why isn't it? Or like, what about Top Gun when I think it was oh my God, what's his partner's name? Maverick's partner, Goose. Goose's son was playing with was it Starscream he was playing with?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an F-14 because it had to be.
Yeah, I'm like, man,
Or in what you call it, The Princess Bride. The kid has a bunch of He-Mans in the and Justice League figures in the background.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
You gotta
That's
pay
a-
attention. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's episode 11. Things you find in movies that was used as props or things like that. Which is also, that's one of the illest jobs to have. Real quick, just talking to be a prop master working for Hollywood, where you go on a set and you have to have it's called placement placement. I think it's called where you put where you put certain things in there, like when you see an iPhone, he walks by.
Oh, the product
Things
placement
like
guy. Yes.
The product placement, yeah. Imagine being the product placement guy back then, and you found Shockwave hanging in there in the movie on Aliens. I'm just like,
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah. That one was. A lot of people don't know that it's literally Shockwave with its arms open.
exactly, and that's all your Shockwave behind you. I was like, look,
Yeah.
that was in the movie. I was like, man,
Have you guys seen Air?
oh yeah.
I mean, talk about product placement in the football game, the electronic games, all these little
That's
like things that like when I saw it, I'm like, oh my god, it literally took me back to like we say 80 and BC, BC.
Oh, you're talking about the Michael Jordan movie, right?
Michael Jordan, before Jordan and after Jordan, and that period but that movie just places a lot of things that like, oh my god, I remember that. Or even the music in the background, you're like, I remember that song. And that movie is just, I've seen it like 4 times already.
That's
I
funny,
watched the Transformers movie, the new one, with my daughter,
bro.
and most of the music, I was just like, yo,
That's what I
everything
told
from
Dion.
Wu-Tang to Biggie to LL,
Yep.
I was just like, oh my god, Black Sheep. I'm
Yep.
just like, oh man, I'm sitting there, and my daughter's like looking at me because she likes the music, but I'm like, I grew up with this music.
Exactly.
Well, Bumblebee. Imagine my surprise when the first song that they're playing is a Smith song.
Oh yeah.
I'm a
Wait,
big
when
Smith.
at the bar, right? Where when the what's the name? The comet dropped and it hit blew up the couple that was fighting each other.
No, no, this is where it was. It Haley Stanfield, the actress.
Yeah, in the
When she's
garage
in her
where she
house.
put tapes inside of them.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then he tried
Yeah.
to spit out the tape.
They're,
Yeah,
they're playing like I'm like a big fan of the band the Smiths,
Mhm.
and it's hard. People know them, but then people don't know that band, or people
Right.
know Morrissey, or don't know Morrissey.
right.
And and my brother will tell you I'm a big fan of the Smiths and Morrissey, and to hear one of their songs in a movie to me is like I'm like geeking out, like oh my god, they got one of their songs in the movie, you know.
Yeah. No, I feel you in that. That's just my youngest daughter, she's 6, and she knows, the Kia Soul commercial from 2010. And
Yeah.
I showed her all the commercials with the hamsters, and she knows the Who's the Black Sheep, the
Yeah.
choice is yours. And when she hears it, she always thinks of, okay, when we get in our car, because I have a Kia Soul, and she goes, all right, we're going to play that song, because that's her song. And when we watched Transformers, she was like, where's our car? I was like, well, they didn't hire Daddy on this one, but it's okay. But yeah, now I'm a Decepticon fan too. If I showed you my car, Dion can speak on it. I got Decepticon logos on my rims, my gas tank, pretty much everywhere. Yeah, so it's
Do you know where
You need
the
that,
logo
you need
got
that,
inspired
that
from?
decal that to punish and enslave. You need that on there.
bro.
No,
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
but do you know where the logo got inspired from?
Oh, Shockwave.
Soundwave.
Oh, not Shockwave. Soundwave. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that.
when I heard that, it made sense.
Yeah.
Not Megatron and Starscream.
Not the minor. we're
Because
talking
Shockwave
about.
had things locked down in Cybertron,
Yeah.
and Soundwave was just a loyal, subject.
He was a senator. Remember that.
Yeah.
And Shockwave was a senator, and he was good in the beginning.
But I think if Shockwave and Soundwave were in charge of Decepticons, it would have been a lot harder for the Autobots.
Oh yeah.
Because those guys are just machines. They probably would have killed Starscream. And not because of its insolent, it's because they think like the logical thing to do is to get rid of Starscream because he's hurting our chances. They're more
Exactly.
logical thinking, and they were like, no, we need either Megatron and Starscream or both out of the team because that's
Homeboy tried
a
to kill
better rate of
Megatron like
success
every
without
episode,
them than with them.
and Megatron kept them around.
Bro, or what about this? Hold on. Now, there's something that a lot of people are missing. You remember when you brought up about Devastator earlier today? Remember when the Constructicons got introduced? They were first introduced as they were made. They were friends with Omega Supreme, and then they created Megatron, and then they said no. They were there before then. Remember when they went that? I think it was when I'm getting it mixed
They
up.
were
when,
also friends with Hoist too, weren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think I
They were all
remember the
dopers.
episode where there's a backstory to the Constructicons, and
right.
which
They, remember-
unfortunately with the
went back in
cartoons, a
time.
lot of plot holes.
Yeah, there was a lot for real. I got to bring up some more questions real quick about y'all, and I really do thank you for talking about that. That was definitely fun. Let's talk about your thrones. That's how I met you all. Your thrones that you've been creating and selling. Are you planning to create other types of dioramas? And then the second question is, when you create the thrones, what type of themes do you like to use?
Well, the Thrones. That was really funny because I got into those. I started watching like YouTube videos of people, doing like figure customizing. And one of the things that I always thought was awesome that people had in the background was some sort of like diorama or something that they built. And because I tend to collect a lot of the villains,
step
like
off, I'll be right back.
every villain needs like a good throne or just a chamber room of where they kind of like sit there brooding, right? So I was just like, dude, some of my figures look kind of bland. I just need to, place them somewhere, right? And I seen some of
Right.
those videos of people making like thrones and little diorama pieces, and then I started following these guys on Instagram that were actually at one of the toy shows, those Vikings. And they make a lot of diorama stuff too.
Right.
And seeing some of those, I just kind of you get inspired, right? And you're like, well, I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try my hand at it. And I saw some of the materials that they were using, which was some of that insulation foam and stuff like that.
Right.
And at first, because I'm like, well, I'm not good at it, or I haven't tried it yet, so I'm gonna try, using like whatever I have at home, which is like cardboard and cardstock kind of stuff. So I tried doing that. I kind of did one that was kind of like off of like made out of like a paper mache kind of. I did cardboard and then I covered it with like paper mache to make it look like rock kind of.
Right.
And it was all right, but it was definitely a process. I found the foam to be a little bit easier, a little bit more forgiving, and a lot more moldable when it came to using like a soldering iron and stuff to like add some marks to it to make it look either weathered or battle damaged and stuff. So I started kind of like dabbling a little bit in it. I can't honestly say like I'm an expert or anything in it. I still plenty. I'm kind of like learning from doing it. I mean, honestly, there's some other guys out there who are ridiculously amazing at creating some of that stuff, but I just figured I'm like having to buy some stuff like that from people, it was one of those where I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just try to make my own. Plus, like, I've always been into art. It's always been a hobby of mine and stuff like that, and it was kind of another thing that I could do with my daughter because she'd be sitting there doing like arts and crafts, so I'm just gonna sit there and try to do these too. So I started the thrones were obviously the easiest ones to do. I've done like a couple little like background dioramas, but I did like the throne, and I mainly wanted to do it for my my Lord Draken figure. Because I figured Draken needs like a good throne, and I always loved that comic book from Boom Studios where he's sitting on the throne with all the helmets like around him. And I'm just like, I kind of want to recreate that, and so I started like kind of like messing with the thrones. I kind of made one with like the Green Ranger like dragon symbol in the background. I kind of have to make a new one now with the actual Lord Draken symbol, but I started kind of like messing with that, and that's where and I mean, it came out pretty cool. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a couple of these and just see if I can sell them at the toy show. I'm like, I'm not gonna try to go too pricey on them. I'll put them on for like $15-20. See if I can sell them, and then just see if I can just generate some extra funds from something I'd be doing for free anyway. So I figured why not. So I started doing that just because you want to start adding a little bit of dynamic posing rather than just a constant like vanilla pose of the figure just standing there static. But if you have them sitting in a chair, it looks like they're posing with something. That looks pretty cool. I like that style.
Let me ask you, thank you, and thank you for sharing that. And when you create your throne, have you ever thought of making a Game of Thrones life-size type of throne?
A life-size one? That's gonna take some time. I don't think I'm at that skill level yet. I've seen people do it. I've seen people definitely do it with plenty of of materials. But I work 2 jobs, so sometimes I don't have the time. When I'm not at work at one of them, I'm usually sleeping. But I would say, I mean, I would love to have like the Game of Thrones, but I want like, if I'm gonna make the Game of Thrones like throne, like I want the one that you kind of see more in like the book series, like that one that's freaking goes up high, kind of like how they're doing it a little bit in the new series. I would say the previous series, where you see a lot more swords. But I think that would look amazing with just basically all these swords that's strewn about, and then like a throne kind of sitting up high above it. That would look really sick. The one on Game of Thrones, obviously it's iconic. But I would definitely love the one where you see the swords leading up, because the way that they talk about it in the book series is as they say, it's like the 1,000 swords of Aegon's enemies. And that throne definitely does not look like 1,000 swords. So, but I mean, it's an awesome looking throne, that's for sure. But I would love the one more from like some of the book series where it just looks way bigger, more elaborate, and way more chaotic. But I mean, I don't think I'm at that skill level yet. I might try it in smaller form first to see what it looks like. But if I were to get like my own house and everything, and I have like a collection room that's big enough, I would definitely love to do like a throne like that, just so I could sit down and watch like movies or something.
With the Mad King.
I don't know how comfortable it's gonna be, but I would love that. It would be awesome.
True. All right, now this one is on a different subject. If you had a chance to have a commercial about your vintage toy hunting, what song would be in the background as your theme music?
Background song.
Your theme. Everybody, as they say, every superhero, every villain has a theme. Everybody has something to go with it. So like mine's, depending on the mood I'm in, I could be anywhere from like Enter the Sandman from Metallica to
that's a good one.
My Philosophy from KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions. Because I'm sitting here just thinking about things and what I want to do and what I'm looking for. Or then it could be some super chaotic mess. It could be Public Enemy, Rebel Without a Pause. I'm gonna go there. So that's me. because I'm always going. So it'd be like Rebel 5. I'm looking. Nope, no, I'm not getting that. Oh hell yeah, I'm going to this store. I already know where we're going. So
That's a good question. Jeez,
I
never
can only
thought-
think of a movie theme, like the end Indiana Jones, because it always is an adventure.
okay.
It's always like trying to see if you can get a good deal from the vendor.
Are we talking Harrison Ford back in the day? Okay. Not this new one where he's sitting here like, damn,
No,
I need to
no.
retire.
Yeah. No. The old one where you're out there
Yeah.
because it is. I mean, it is sometimes feels like an adventure, and you got your traps and you got your vice because you want to get it, but you're like, I know it's expensive, but you're like, I don't want to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta
I
buy
don't
something
know.
at least from here.
Yeah.
It's a tricky question because I know a couple of times that I've been like, out there like on the toy shows, like looking for stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've had the theme to Knight Rider in the back of my head going.
Okay.
The way the theme music starts.
Yep.
I don't know why, like, dun, da, 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 like I have no clue why that's in my head in the background. I didn't see anything Knight Rider related, but for some reason, I don't know. It's just that it feels like Knight Rider is one of those like nostalgic like 80s shows. So whenever I'm like
Yeah.
looking for like figures and stuff, I'm looking obviously usually for more of the older stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know why that theme song like just sit in the back of my head. But I'm thinking of a theme like that in the background, but I don't know. One of the songs that can always play that I would listen to, whether it's in the beginning of the song or like at the
Mhm.
end of the song. Probably the scenario Tribal Quest.
Ah, okay. Remix or the original?
The original.
Gotcha. Yeah. I see 18. I don't know why, but I see all of us in a van. We go. I see somebody's going to be beating Barack, or somebody's going to be the crazy one, Murdoch. Face. I say, all right, who's gonna go in there and then try to negotiate this? We're gonna get what we're looking for, and we're gonna roll up.
Oh yeah.
And we're all jumping out, and then there's got to be a Hannibal in the group. We're gonna have to figure out.
Somebody's got to make a plan.
Yeah, there
You
it
gotta
is.
find an older cat because normally I'm the oldest one from the group.
Yeah.
Now that we're the same age, we gotta find an old head that's into
Dion's
70s,
older than
60
us.
toys.
He's old.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, we need an old head. No, Dion's
We
only
need a
few months
Hannibal.
older.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we gotta go. Oh man, I don't even know who's that old. Could find.
Cigar
Somebody
thumping.
that's really good at planning.
Yeah, good at yes. Exactly.
Unapologetic.
Yeah, and no
Yeah.
Murdoch. We don't
you
need
know,
no.
I would love. I was always a fan of Louis Gossett Jr. If we can find somebody like him
Oh man.
with attitude, with like just like no nonsense, as our
Yeah.
old head collector,
Yeah.
OG collector, yeah, Louis Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
An Iron Eagle. Come on,
Mhm.
Cappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And that what was that
Cappy.
other one? The Alien movie.
Enemy
when
Mine.
he played- Yeah.
Enemy
Oh,
Mine.
dude. Oh my God.
Display.
Yo,
People
that's
forget he was the alien.
he was the alien and he was pregnant. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie. Oh man. That's
That was a good
actually
movie.
One of my
That was
favorite.
a
That was
good
a
movie.
real good movie. I might
Yeah.
watch that tonight.
Ugly human. Ugly human.
Yeah, that's right. And then
Yeah.
I knew it was him too because remember, and the way he talked, he's like, looks at how you talk. Remember?
Yeah.
What about you? The words. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when Dennis Quaid landed and he came back when he went to go it was became his godson basically. He was talking like them. He literally was found talking like the aliens, and they were like,
He
around
he raised them and he basically taught him his heritage.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Oh.
exactly. True indeed. All right, that's deep. I like that.
But no, I think 80s music in the background, from hip hop to new wave to rock, would be our themes. Because I mean,
Yeah,
that's what I remember now collecting is these songs.
we gotta have the cassette tapes. You mean?
Yeah, we got cassettes or CDs, right? We got to burn the
Yeah.
CDs, just
Yeah.
pop it
Yeah,
in the CD
mixtape.
player. It has to be a pull-out too. Has to be a pull-out CD player.
And the tape gets stuck, and we have to take it out, and like, damn it, man. So
got
one of us
pencil.
got to splice it. Yep.
Yeah,
one of us got to
wind
splice
that
it.
thing in when it comes out.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta have the boombox too.
I'll have the boombox part. I got that part.
With the 8 what size D batteries, or
Yep.
C's.
Yep.
God,
You
yeah,
know,
those big ass things.
Yep. And we
That-
said
that
throw
The
them
was-
out.
weight was the memories in that thing.
But that was the style. I mean, that was a statement to walk out if you had a boombox or that or headphones. I mean, you came out and that was just a
Man.
whole other level.
Yep.
Everybody. It's just those accessories were part of who you were.
True indeed.
They were part of
All
the
right.
fashion, yeah.
It was definitely. All right. Now we're getting down to the tail end. And
Okay.
thank you again, everyone.
Thank you.
Also, if you had to have I got 3 questions for you. This one, all right. This is 2. It's going to be between you both. Also, if you had an actor in the MCU, who would portray you, Sal? And what about you, Eric?
Hmm. Is that weight gain or current?
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter about that situation. Who would you have that portrays you in a movie
That's a good
As-
question.
as an actor in the next MCU?
Hmm. I got to think more of a character that might actually
Okay.
be able to portray my accurate, sometimes like sporadic way of doing things.
Right.
So it would have to be a character. It'd have to be an actor who can play serious and then stupid at the same time. So it's kind of hard. I don't know.
I go with
'Cause I mean,
Fluffy.
I have my. You go who?
Fluffy. Gabriel Iglesias.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Because
Ah.
and I'm not saying
possibility. Yeah.
it's not because of
he's fun.
the body, but he reminds he has in a sense our personality, and he grew up in that era too.
Yeah.
Right.
And
True.
and like, I'm not trying to toot your own horn, but you're a funny you are naturally funny,
Yeah.
and you can be serious. And I think Gabriel Iglesias would be, because they never get a person that kind of looks like. Very rarely do they get somebody that kind of resembles the if they're playing a historic figure or
Right.
or real life situation. They never really get somebody that looks like like that
like the
person.
character. Yeah, the person.
But
yeah.
I think Gabriel Iglesias could probably play you because he would get you. I think he would understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, he's a collector too.
Yeah.
He's a collector
that's true.
too.
Yep.
And he's a card guy like you,
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
that you know what, that would work. Gabriel Iglesias for sure.
Okay. So, and what about you, Sal?
Ooh, that's because I gotta look in my I think
He's gonna be like Chris Hemsworth.
no. I think
And we're not talking about.
I'm thinking like John Seda.
Who?
John
You know
Seda.
John Seda? He
John
played
Seda?
yeah.
Huh.
He played what you call it
Wait a
Jesus
minute.
Christ, I
Isn't
blanked
it
his
Jon?
name, but Selena's husband.
Yeah,
John
isn't it
Seda.
Jon Seda? Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
John
he-
Seda.
Was he a musician?
Yeah, he played
Hey,
what's his name?
Played
Chris
the one
Perez.
in the movie.
Yeah, he played Chris Perez in the Selena movie.
Yeah. Okay, I knew
Yeah.
who you're talking about. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
comes,
he
he
also
comes out on
played
one of those like
Stallone
TV show
in-
cop.
in the Pacific. He was in Chicago PD. I mean, he's been, but I think
Yeah.
like obviously, yeah, he would have to fluff up a little bit more. But I think the face features. So I'm trying to think of people that could actually, like, if they gain weight, got a little, they would, he has my almost,
Married.
I would, like look,
Interesting.
I think he would do a good job. He did a great job playing Chris Perez and Selena.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys ever seen The Pacific.
Oh, the one with
Series, World War II.
yeah, the World War II. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The one with the Marines when they're
HBO,
like,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
He played Barcelona, which won the Medal of Honor, and being that he's Puerto Rican, he made me believe he was Italian. He was Barcelona, so I think he would do a good job playing me
Okay. Okay.
if I was to be a
And-
character in MCU.
Now, let me ask you this. Also, now I know one of you is a musician. Let's have you discuss a little bit about where people can find your music and how long you've been working on music.
Well, I'm a musician more like I don't have like music out.
Mhm.
Like I've worked with people, I've played, but I don't have like music. I've tried to get into that. I bought Pro Tools and everything, but now that I'm working full time, I never gotten into like putting those ideas on you know, on tape. I say tape now because that's what on the drive now. Should I say drive? I'm so used to saying on tape.
No, you all good. You can say or that back in the day, or,
Right?
Yeah.
So
Have you
I
ever-
don't. I've never really put anything out just because I just haven't had the time. Now that I'm becoming more familiar with social media and all this stuff, now I'm like, maybe I should start doing some of that stuff.
What about on your toy hunts? Have you ever thought about playing like something and then have it play as your theme while you're on your toy hunts? Like on
I thought
Instagram?
about it because even Ismael from Space Comics, he's asking like, how good are you? Like, can you create a song? Like he's talking about. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I thought about it, because I've always played for myself, and I do, never really played. I never played live. I played with people, but I never really, done it. Like pursued it, like tried to, I just never looked at myself that way. Either just never thought I was good enough for that. I've taught myself.
It's the thing
But
about.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say the thing about now versus compared to when we were younger coming up with stuff, even when you have the talent. And the good thing is you can still remain in the background and do something and put it out, and no really person knows who you were. Meaning you don't have to be, oh, I'm Sal or I'm Eric or anything like that. It's put under another suit of them, you know what I mean? And put it out, and it could be that's your music, but it's on your stuff, you know what I mean? And you like if you're going toy hunts, like you were talking about Knight Rider, I'm like, yeah, that would be dope. And then I'm sitting here like thinking, okay. And then you mentioned about scenario or different things like that, or you talked about the Smiths. I'm like, put that on your theme and you're toy hunting, that would be dope. Just that's your theme for that day, right? That's it. You know what I mean? And when they watch your video, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, I think it would be dope. You know what I mean? I'm already thinking about like when I get ready to put this out, and then when we get ready to put this, so we got our YouTube channels, put it on there. When I put it on the YouTube channels, I put music of what I've done already on there. However, because of your both dynamics, I'm going to try to figure out, like, I got to do half and half. I might do a Morrissey and Smiths. I might just do some hip hop over here for Eric. And then I'm going to cut it in half like that. I think it would be kind of dope. That's just me thinking right now, forward thinking and stuff. I think
me and Eric have written a
awesome,
song or two here and there messing around. Because Eric's a pretty good writer. Yeah.
Okay.
Remember when we put that little punk song together? You came up with the lyrics, I came up with the rest. Yeah.
I forgot what it was.
The house. But I know it was kind of one of those spur of the moment. Like I said, sometimes we do things for the moment, with no run. Like I said, because I've never really, I've taken, lessons here and there, but everything I've taught myself. I've somehow managed, Jesus Christ, when people told me about tuning guitars, like I was doing it, but I didn't know I was tuning the guitar. I just knew that I needed to get it to us, because nobody, when I found out that you can actually buy tuners digital, I'm like, oh my, oh wow, because I was doing the things not knowing that I was doing things, but it was just naturally how it was progressing. I never knew. I've been hands-on and just me on my own in my own room, pausing, playing back the same part so I can see if I can try to learn it. Not having the reason if somebody says what key you're playing, I have no idea. What chord is that?
Hey,
no.
Dion, Mr. Don't Talk, posted something about a Morbius chair. He says he needs a Morbius chair from you.
All right.
Did you see it? I don't know if you see the.
No. I can't see it in the chat, but yeah. No, I can do something like that.
All right, Dion. So he got that for you. That's interesting. I just saw that. I was like, Morbius. Okay, what do you know about? Okay, I'm not saying Dion though. He does. Speaking of expensive ass. Okay, I gotta say this shit. Excuse me, I'm pissed now. Thinking about what we said earlier. The place where we went by the 51 had the nerve selling the anti-monitor for $135. I
Wait,
went.
the one that just the most recent one that just came out?
The one where it's the old one. Was that 2010? I think it came out. Right, the one that's by DC collection. I think DC. It's not McFarlane, but it's DC. Oh my God, the one that comes with the car back. You know what I'm talking about?
The what you call it, like the multiverse ones, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
came
yeah.
up. Yeah, they're selling it for 150. I found on eBay someone was selling it for 80 and less, and I was like, wow. It just made me think of how they just. Anyways,
They're gonna obviously say because they got overhead and whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of times where that I've been to that location. It's just you see something and you're like, man, I go there now recently more out of boredom, just
Yeah.
because I want to go check out and look for stuff.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes they're the only place that has it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like most of like my hunting, it'll be I'll go to like Polar Bears. He always has like really good deals. Retro Exchange,
Hmm.
Toy Box, Drawn
Hmm.
to Comics. I mean, there's so many other places. Hell, even just finding them on OfferUp, Mercari, things like that.
Yeah.
But it's now more. I always tell people patience. Just this one of those things that me and my brother have learned in the collecting world is, if you really want something, just wait a little bit, and eventually it'll pop up. It'll pop up for a price that you're willing to pay, that
Yep.
isn't going to break the bank, and that you're to use worth it. Because I mean, it's a figure you might really want, but it's not worth $150 to you.
No.
You're like, man, I wouldn't pay over 50, $60.
Yep.
But you want it just because you want it. It's something that you want to collect. But yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, if it's unless it's something that's super rare that you're never gonna see again,
Mhm.
then I say it sucks, but it's really worth whatever somebody's willing to pay for it.
And that's
if
what's
the only
crazy.
one out there is $150 and you want it, then it might be worth $150. But if you take your time, to be
You're gonna
honest,
find
like everything that I've been looking for, I've taken my time and eventually like just picked it up.
I did the same
I,
thing.
I say the same thing, and sometimes you will get lucky if you're patient enough. I'll give you an example. Let me bring it down because I found this at a store,
Mhm.
and knowing that you're a Transformer person,
Yeah.
fan, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. And then while you're in the process of doing that, I just recently was doing that because I was looking for Lasher. It was Lasher and Toxic Marvel Legends. I can't find I mean, I found Toxic, but I'm not paying the money for the two Toxic. So what I ended up doing with Toxic is I made my own, and then the one I made was custom better than the one that they selling. And then Lasher, I just got Lasher yesterday from another guy who's going to be on our third episode, and which is interesting. He's actually going to be one of the guys I'm inviting to the roundtable too. It's going to be pretty cool when we all get together and stuff. I like it because guess what? Everybody, he's trying to start his own restaurant, and he's also a toy collector. You do music, you toy collectors, and we all met like this.
Yeah.
James is a DJ from, over at, what's his name, at Polar Bears and everything. I'm just like, I love it. Wait a minute, was that Dion talking?
We're like-minded individuals, especially when it's positive things.
Yeah.
We tend to kind of like magnets almost. Like there's so many people that I've gone out with that I found out like, wait, you play drums? Like
Yeah.
Like what? How? What is
Yeah.
like? What are the odds?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're in music? What? Oh, you collect?
Yep.
But anyway, here's a little
Yeah.
piece. Slag.
Oh,
But it's
my
not
God.
just a regular slag.
Wait, is this the one that I saw, your Canadian one?
Yeah, the Canadian
Yeah.
one. I
Yes.
found it sitting there, and like I said, red face, white legs. Canadian version, and this is what they based the cartoon on. The colors of the Canadian version. And I found it sitting at a store, one of the stores that was just recently mentioned. They didn't realize what they had there. I was nervous when I asked the girl to show it to me if that's what
Yeah.
I thought it was. And it ended up being the Canadian version, and I saw the price, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you're selling like if it was the regular one. You're not
Yeah.
selling at the Canadian version price.
Yeah. Because if you knew,
And
yeah.
and
Dude.
so
I didn't even know
people,
that.
be
About-
patient. It will
Wow.
the pieces will come up.
Yeah.
There's no
Like
rush.
me personally, Watch, I got these. So
Yeah. This is before the
so-
California trip.
Wow.
this guy right here. All right, this guy. Just take a random guess at how much I picked this guy up for.
Isn't that the from Christian Bale, the
This is a Batman v Superman. The what you call it? The app Batmobile.
Ben Affleck one? Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Shit. Is that a McFarlane? Who made it?
that's Mattel.
Mattel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go 225.
You got some of the numbers correctly. I paid $25 for this thing. $25, and I picked it up from a lady on OfferUp, and I thought it was the 124 scale because I collect the
Right.
124 scale Batmobiles.
Right.
And I messaged this lady because the picture she took looked very deceptive, but I was just like, "Yeah, do you have it?" She goes, "Yeah." So I went to pick it up, and I'm thinking I'm picking up a 124 scale vehicle, and she comes out with this thing like across both of her arms with like the remote with the charger and everything.
Wow.
And I'm thinking like, oh God, I hope I didn't make a mistake. And she meant 250 because it's worth
Right.
about 250.
Right.
And I was just like, she goes 25, and I was like, oh geez. So I just gave her the $25 and started walking away before I figured I'm like, what if she turns around? So I just walked away, and I was just and $25 for this thing.
Bro.
And then I picked these guys up. Those are the NECA
shit.
quarter scale.
Yeah.
I got all three of them for $100.
God damn it. Wow.
And that's literally just kind of, coming up on them. I wasn't, trying to look for them. I didn't offer somebody like I wasn't going out there and being like, hey, I'm going to try to rip somebody off.
Right.
But those were the prices that they offered. I verified, like, hey, are you sure that that's the price? They're like, yeah. I'm like, sweet,
Aight.
I'm going to pick them
Yeah,
up.
cool. No.
Yeah, this one was $80, and on eBay they're selling it between $300 or $400.
I'm tripping off of the whole thing. So, oh my God, the colors thing. So now I'm like, shit. When
Yeah.
you said that, I'm sitting here like going back. I'm like, I didn't even know that myself, and I thought I knew every damn thing about Transformers. I mean, I thought I was Bob Budiansky's brother for the years.
Right? No, and it's that's the great thing about collecting, right? And with anything, right? Our goal is, right, as people, is to looking to improve and expand our mind and learn things. And one thing about collecting, you start finding out as you get, because kids in Canada probably didn't even know this is what they grew up with.
Yep.
That they don't know that there's like the black leg regular, slag.
Right.
Or some people don't realize that they changed the name to it to slug
Yep.
because
of the
derogatory term.
The derogatory term. Yeah, exactly. Damn. Okay.
But that's what people grew up with. Canada grew up with this version. We never saw it. So
No.
as you get older and you educate yourself, you realize like there's a white leg, red face variant.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, and I found it here in Arizona. Like, how did it end up? Like, I can understand Chicago, New York, closer to Canada, where you can bump into it. But
Snowbirds. Snowbirds.
yeah,
Sure.
snowbirds.
Yep.
Like how you're a Robotech fan, Rashad?
Yeah.
So like, did you ever collect like the Jetfire figure?
Oh God, yes. I have. That's actually. That's another subject. Yeah, but I got the. I just bought the shattered glass one like 2 weeks ago.
So with the original Jetfire, there's the first edition one is actually the one that has a Valkyrie logo on the back wing.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize
They
that
didn't have enough time.
the first
They
ones-
rushed it and
yeah.
they took out that.
Right.
Yeah,
and
they
were
changed
painted
it
on
all.
there, and it's not a toy hack sticker.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it's on there. So a lot of people don't know that that's the more rare one.
Right.
That's the one that's a little bit
That's the
pricey.
first edition. So if you got that one, you got the first one.
The
Wow.
two that I have,
Run of
have it, so. But a lot of people don't realize that. So when you're looking for stuff, there's definitely little variations here and there that can turn a $150 piece into like a $300-$400 piece easily.
That's true. All right. Let me ask you this. Because we got the last question, but before, okay, I'm going to ask you the last question, and then this one is going to be no, actually, you know what? Before I answer the last question, I'm going to ask y'all this: what would you consider your grail? That you know, like you found or you know that you're looking for? What would you say your grail you want to find? For example.
For me, mine was my Jetfire. I now have two of them.
That's awesome.
I have the. Let me see. I got them over here. I ended up in the California trip actually buying like the acrylic for it.
Yeah.
So got this guy.
That's dope. Wow.
I know there's like
in a box?
the box, but
Yeah.
yeah, everything, the sticker sheet. The only thing I'm missing is obviously
Just move the camera so they can see it more.
Oh, sorry. I think
Yeah,
I moved
no,
the
you got-
camera with the. But yeah,
Wow. Wow. I think between
yeah.
me and you and James, we're like the diehard Jetfire, Skyfire fans. That's dope.
yeah, just the artwork on it is just.
That is sick. I really like this. And I like the shadow box you got with it too. That's dope.
Yeah, and then I obviously got the loose version.
Mhm.
And then just recently, I was just talking to my brother about it because it was one of those ones that I remember having when we were little. Remember, Sal, I was talking to you the other day about seeing one online, the Robotech one, the Veritech fighter. Yeah, I pulled the trigger on that one. So it's going to be coming in the mail by Tuesday.
Mhm.
So it's fully in box, the Harmony Gold Veritech fighter, like in box, 100% complete. I don't really want to throw out there like how much I paid, but I saw it and I was just like, it was 2 a.m. I was messaging my brother. I'm like, I don't see this thing ever. And just like, well,
Hold on, you were up at 2 a.m. texting your brother.
I work at an overnight job, so the minute I see something real cool, I usually send it to him. Sometimes he's asleep, but this time he responded. And
Sometimes
and
I'm
my
up.
brother's like,
I'm a night owl too.
Yeah, I
my
work
brother's
graveyard
like,
too.
patience. And I'm thinking like, this thing doesn't last. It's been up for a couple of hours, but anytime anything Robotech pops up online, it usually sells quick, especially
Yeah.
like complete in the box.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I first bought this Jetfire, I remember I called my brother nervous, going like, "Oh man, I did a thing. I'm not exactly sure if I did a correct thing, but I did a thing." And he thought I was doing something really bad. And I was just like, "I bought a Jetfire, like in the box." But I'm thinking to myself, worst case scenario, if I feel I really made a decision that was like a mistake, I could turn around and sell it for the same amount of money I got, that I
Right.
spent on it.
Right. Just recoup the
That's-
loss.
Yeah, I figured I'm like, it's one of those that it's not gonna, lose value, So I did the exact same thing with this one. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger because worst case scenario, if I decide to sell it, it'll sell for the same amount of money that I bought it for. And to be honest, because it's complete in box, I feel it's probably gonna sell for more. So I was just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on it. So hopefully the next time I talk to you, I can show you that one. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming. That one's coming in the mail already.
That's dope. Well, we could be on I mean, you got my information, so we could always FaceTime or whatever, Zoom. It don't matter. So definitely.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
I'm happy. I'm actually happy that I got to know y'all.
Yeah.
I wish it was faster before. I'm like, damn. But anyways, I'm sorry. I digress. No.
No, yeah,
Yes.
but yeah, when I receive that one, I'll send you some photos, and then if
Yeah.
you want, I can even show it to you like on video. You can put it up if you want. But yeah, I was just like,
We
I
need to
was
do a
thinking
toy
to myself, I'm like, I gotta pull
Toy
the trigger on this thing because I'm never gonna run into it again. I haven't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I probably will, but God knows when and for how much. And this thing was a good enough price where I was just like, you know what, I don't feel too bad. It's not really breaking the bank, but it's just one of those where you don't see it as often.
Right.
So it's just like, yeah, I gotta pull the trigger on it, so I bought it. So that one's just
I
gonna
dig it.
come in the mail soon.
That's what's up. You know, one thing I want to say, when you get that, actually, we'll do it. We'll put it on there as a short on the YouTube. Because, this is our second episode. This one, I love the first episode, but I'm really enjoying talking more like this because I'm like, this is me. This is me. Like how you said about your ex-wife, and she was like, whatever. I ain't even gonna talk about her no more. But just, you get to be you. You know what I mean? So definitely. Sal, let me hear. What's your grail? What have you found or your future?
Let me see. This is the
Wait.
Leo He-Man from India
What?
and the Leo Skeletor. Look at the different colors and variations of it.
I didn't even.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Leo had some.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
Leo
Yeah. Those are right
Wow.
now like my grails that I could say I bought this on eBay, found it at a very good price, and I jumped on it. This
That's
one
dope.
I made I traded a couple of carded, you know, Masters of the Universe figures
Yeah.
for this one, which I had to. I do have a Rotoplast He-Man from Venezuela too in that trade, but one of the other grails that I do want to have, I do want to get the first run of Star Wars, you know, the original run of figures, the Star Wars carded.
Mhm.
That would be like my ultimate, you know, grail with the Star Wars logo, right? The first movie. Right now, I got Return of the Jedi's, Power of the Force, Strikes Back logo, and some tri logos. But I want to get Star Wars, you know.
Right.
Yeah, I would
Isn't
love.
Oh no, no, no. Go ahead. I was thinking about a famous person. I'm like, isn't it's not Tom Cruise? Who's the guy who's the big Star Wars geek? Got everything. Um,
Well, Rick Springfield has a big collection,
I know about
and
that.
they say Leo DiCaprio has a
DiCaprio.
big
That's
collection.
it. There it is. It was Leonardo. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but he has. But I would love to get that run. Music wise, I would love to get a 1950s Les Paul with the P90 pick.